All right, it is Wednesday. It's been a couple days since I did a Facebook Live, and I'm doing a lot of these right now because there's so much going on. Every day things change, and we're trying to keep you abreast of what we're doing here at Delta Chiropractic Center. We're also trying to keep you informed on best practices to stay healthy. So this Facebook Live is going to be kind of a combo because I'm learning that there's layers upon layers of what's going on with this corona crisis. The first and most obvious one is the disease itself, and there's no question that it's an impactful pandemic affecting a lot of people. So we want to do the common sense practical things to stay healthy and to minimize exposure. So we wash our hands. We don't go out right now unless we have to. We keep surfaces clean. Here at the office, we clean between every patient, every surface that's been touched. We keep our pens separate, used and cleaned, freshly cleaned. We keep distances. So we're doing a lot of things that are practical to minimize exposure. Another layer in the COVID crisis has to do with big government and big pharmacy. I think there's some issues there where it's the nature of an organization to want to grow. Some of them are more overt about it than others, and some are downright evil about it. I'm not calling our government evil, but it does tend to want to grab more power. So it will take advantage of a situation like the COVID crisis and use it to grab more power. And we see that happening with the orders to stay home, the orders to close businesses, the offer of money to people who now, because they can't work, need money. So it's kind of a cycle. It's a dangerous cycle, and it scares me a little bit. It scares me except for God can have his way even in this situation. Another layer of the COVID crisis has to do with a spiritual piece of it, which has to do with fear. Is the biggest, most obvious piece of it. Fear has amplified the impact of both those other layers. The disease itself, our immune system is depressed when we have fear. So I encourage you, when you feel fear rising up in you, take steps to fight fear. Replace it with faith. Look at what God's promises are. Look at what he's promised in his word. Grab hold of those promises. Immerse yourself in the truths that God loves you. God has provided you through Jesus Christ. God has provided promises to protect you and heal you and provide for you. So I had an episode of that yesterday. I had a big financial piece, just what I need with all this going on. I got a piece of my tax information back, and it was bad news. And for the afternoon, I struggled with fear. But I spent some time with my wife and in worship and in prayer and going through my affirmations of God's promises, and fear dropped down and down and down. And I'm back on a stable status of faith. And honestly, I look at this now as an opportunity to see God function again. He's brought us through our fire. He brought us through the flood. He's brought us through my broken neck. He's not going to leave us hanging now. So it's an exciting opportunity. And in some ways, this COVID thing is too. God is going to do some amazing things, and we see that happening in reports around the world. So keep the faith, keep fear down. All right, so what are we doing practically here at the office? We are staying open. And every state has different rules about chiropractic and how it fits into essential services. Michigan has elected to deal with it a little bit backhandedly. They have said that anything that keeps people out of emergency rooms and off of opioids is covered as an essential provision, an essential health care. So we qualify under that. Our state organization, the MAC, has decided that we do qualify. So we're staying open, and we're taking care of patients who are in pain, or who, if they got worse, if they delayed their treatment, they would get worse. We're welcoming those patients in. So you certainly can come in to the office if you still have symptoms, or if your symptoms will get worse without care. So it helps keep people out of emergency rooms, out of ready care, and off of heavier pain meds. We also just got, I'm holding in my hand, the printout of the federal U.S. Department of Homeland Security has specifically listed chiropractors on their list of healthcare and public health workers deemed as essential critical infrastructure workers during this pandemic. So at the federal level and at the state level, we've been mandated to stay open, and that's why we're here. We've cut down our staff, we've cut down our hours a little bit. We're going the extra mile above and beyond what CDC is recommending for keeping things clean. And so you're welcome. Give us a call, 321-3030. We're here to help you, and glad we can do that. We'll be back in touch in another couple of days. Keep you posted. In the meantime, we're praying for you. We're praying for God to do good things in your life, praying for God to supply your needs. We're believing that there is better on the other side of this. It may be very different, but it's going to be good. It'll be good. So keep the faith. Get well. Stay well. That's why we're here. God bless.